I said a lot. Oh my God, there's a cat. I love that. I love that. Hey, what's up? Hello, Katie Colson here. Welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be talking about the book that I read for my Smut Salon book club on Patreon for the month of February, and that is Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. Now, we picked this because it's February, and I basically put like 4 romances for us to decide between, and I did not realize until halfway through this book that it isn't a romance, it's a love story. And Erin pointed that out to me from Booked and Busy. She was like, Katie, you know that's not a romance, right? And I was like, what does it matter? It's a love story. And then I was like, oh no. Because according to like the genres of books, to be a romance, you have to have a happily ever after. And I was like, oh my God, how's this book gonna end? I'm so scared. So I'm excited for y'all to see the journey that I went on with this. And also, there are a couple triggers to this book. And if you're someone who doesn't like to hear triggers, I totally understand that. And because you think it's gonna spoil the book, I totally get it. So I'm gonna put like a little time here that you can skip forward if you don't wanna hear what these triggers are. But here we go, skip ahead. There are triggers in this book for cheating. There is a lot of talk of mental disorders. There is like social anxiety disorders. There is depression. There's bipolar disorder. There is a list of things going on. There is very deep in depth about characters going through like manic episodes and depressive episodes and changing their life for the worse because of impulsive decisions. So if you do not want to read about that, I would not read this book. I think that she handled it incredibly well, but again, just to let you know. Okay, done with the triggers. A short summary of this book would be that you are following 2 characters, Aldo and Reagan, who are mentally disordered and incredibly intelligent. And they come across each other and decide to use each other to solve mathematical, logical, and emotional human problems. One of them, Aldo, is constantly in this incessant search for the truth of everything. Like anything that's a question, he needs to find the truth of it so that he can ignore his own truth. And then Reagan is throwing herself full throttle into whatever is exciting and thrilling in order to avoid her truth. So you have them coming together to try to solve each other, and through that process, figuring out themselves. I don't want to say anything else because I'm going to say a lot in this vlog. We're going to talk a lot about this book. So I think we just need to jump right into it because I have a lot to say. Okay, no, Katie, like in what world did you think? How is my hair still wet? I washed my hair last night and it's 1:30 p.m. and my hair's still wet. Oh, it smells so good though. Okay, well, sorry for this jump scare. You know, it's not getting better, but at least it's clean. Hi, hello. We are going to be reading Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. This is my Smut Salon book club pick, and I've only read the first, it's not a chapter, it's like this little 1 page. It's just as a hypothesis, and then it goes to part 1. And I already decided to highlight in it because the writing is so beautiful, and I'm like, I know I'm gonna want to remember and look back. Even if I don't give this 5 stars, I'm gonna want to look back on this writing. But the one thing that I highlighted that I thought was so beautiful is we're talking about our main character Reagan, who will go, she works at like this art museum, and she will decide what part of the art museum she wants to go to based on how she's feeling and how she wants to feel. So it says that she'll go to the armory that's like bright red walls and like full of all this old weapons and stuff. And it said, when Reagan had chosen to visit the armory in the past, it had been because it stood for the sacredness of purpose. There was no frivolity here. Instead, there was the irony of peace. It reminded her of a time when people still committed their violence eye to eye, which gave her a paradoxical sense of gratification. It was intimate because it was not. It was religious because it was not. It was beautiful because at the heart of it, it was twisted and soulless and ugly. And therefore, it mirrored something masochistic in Reagan herself. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, Olivia Blake, she's so smart. She's so smart. Like, if you read the Atlas 6, this does not read like that because the Atlas 6 is very, like, more kind of fantasy, like, dark academia setting, where this is, like, a literary fiction. I'm assuming it's supposed to be a contemporary romance, but it's written like a literary fiction. At least it is so far. Oh, also, I'm going to be physically reading this because, again, the writing is exquisite. So I'm gonna hit you back up when I get a little bit farther in and tell you what I'm thinking. Hello. Was that stupid? Don't tell me if it was. I got to page 25, and part of me is thinking, like, maybe I'll hit you up, like, every 25 pages, which is probably going to become obnoxious and too much. But there's so much happening, but there's, like, nothing happening, but it's stunning, but, like, it's also kind of pretentious, but, like, pretentious in, like, the best way, in my opinion. Anyway, wow, those are a lot of words that just came out of my mouth. I said a lot. Oh my God, there's a cat. Why am I always surprised? There's so many wild cats. Stray cats? Stray cats live in this neighborhood. Katie, get back to business. Hello, I am on page 25 of Alone with You in the Ether, and we have met Reagan and we've met Aldo, who are our main characters, who this is supposed to be a love story about them. Now, they have not met yet, technically, like, they're about to meet, but he is a student slash, what do you call that? He's like an assistant teacher, teacher's aide, but he's studying like time travel and hexagons, which are related to bees, and there's a lot of bee imagery. And then Reagan, who is also incredibly intelligent, she went to school for art and she got a degree, and she's, you know, very smart, but she makes a lot of like very messy decisions and very not without thought, but she'll make very like kind of morally gray snap decisions and just be like, well, 'tis life. And we'll just be like, she'll just see a guy and she's just like, let's have sex. Let's go. And it's just like, let's do it. Because she, basically with her, she finds the idea of normalcy and consistency incredibly frustrating and boring. So she makes decisions that she thinks, okay, in a different life, what could I have done? And that's her like constant thoughts is like, in a different universe, what would I have done? And then Aldo, his constant thoughts is he definitely, it is not as of yet said what mental disorder he has, but it is coded as definitely depression. And I do like the way that it's said. And it's only 25 pages in, and it says on the back that he is dealing with like a lot of mental things. So that's not a spoiler. But I really like the way it's said, because there's at one point in the very beginning where his dad calls and is like, how are you doing today? And he thinks to himself, like, how many different ways can I answer this question? And he says what he thinks is, I've been bad. I'll be bad again. It might rain in 2 weeks. And I was like, that was such an interesting way to put it. Like, I can't tell you what's going to happen. Like, it could rain today. It could rain tomorrow. I just know it's going to rain again. And I was like, that's beautiful. Like, that was so stunning and sad. Now, I will say that this is going to be, whoever this book is for, it's for. But it won't be for everybody, because a lot of my patrons were saying that this reads like a textbook. And I agree that this does read very pretentious. And this kind of gives me the vibes of The Secret History, where if you loved the writing in The Secret History, I think that you will like this, in my opinion. It is poetic, but the thing is, okay, it is like a textbook, but it's so intelligent. I feel so fucking smart. I feel so smart. Like, I am such a smart bitch when I'm reading this, even though I don't know what they're talking about. Like, time travel and hexagons and all this. I have no idea. But I feel like I do when I'm reading this. Like, I feel like I'm like part of it. Like, I'm in the inner circle. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying a lot of things for only being 25 pages into this book. But when I tell you that I want to pick this up, I want to pick this up and read it. I'm not even listening to an audiobook right now. Katie Colson? What world is she living in? Okay, I'm going to read another 25 pages and I'll get back to you. Hello from the next day. From the next day. Hello to the next day? It is the next day, and hello. I am exactly on page 50 of Alone with You in the Ether, and I am really enjoying this. Now, I am saying that now, only being 50 pages in, so the tide could turn. And I don't know how like rereadable it is. I don't know. I'm only 50 pages in, and they've just met for the second time. When they meet and he says that he wants her to lie to him because he wants to be able to tell when she's lying, why? Like, I don't get it. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, I'm only on page 50. Maybe I'm not supposed to know, but I feel like I am supposed to get it, but I don't get it. So I am reading this very slowly. One, because it is not a book that you can speed read, and it's not writing that you can speed read. It is very intellectual, and you really have to like be paying attention, but I am loving it. So that's really my only update for right now, other than I really like the characters, even though they're not like heroes. You know, they're not like incredibly good people, but they're very realistic people that make almost like too raw of decisions. You know, like I won't say that they make like the most realistic decisions because they are too intelligent. Like they're too intelligent for their own good. And that gets them into sticky situations where they think logically and not with empathy or emotion. But I really enjoy it. So I'm going to read another 25 pages and then I will hit you back up. Okay. This like relationship kind of ish question mark. Like, what is it? Like relationship-esque? Like, is it a romance? Like, not yet, you know, but like I can see it happening because like it's intellectually romantic so far. Like they're falling for each other's brains. I love that. I love that. Like, oh my God, I love it. And I love the whole dynamic of this story, which I'm sure I should probably say in the summary, but basically he wants to figure her out. Like there's something that she does that he finds interesting because he doesn't really understand it. And it's that he thinks that she lies a lot. Like not like, oh, you're a liar, but like that she will lie about certain things. And he's curious to figure out like what it is that she's lying about and why she's lying and how to detect whether or not she's lying. And this is like a problem that he wants to solve, is being able to do this. So he says, okay, let me have 6 conversations with you. And I want to ask you questions and see if by the end of those 6 conversations, I can understand how your brain works. And I find that so interesting because it's almost like going on dates, but they don't realize they're going on dates. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really liking it. And I swear to God, there was like a part where she asks like, oh, why the bees? Like, why are you so interested in bees? And his explanation about the bees, I was like, that is hilarious. That is so funny. Like I highlighted like that whole page. That was hilarious. I loved it. And like poignant and like so interesting. And like the fact that she found it interesting was so cool. I'm really digging it, and I'm hoping that I can hit you back up at page 100 because I am not ready to stop reading this tonight. Oh my God, guys. I got to page 101. I'm obsessed. I am highlighting so much and I'm trying to not highlight everything and like make it important, but like, oh my fucking God. I love this book. I love this book. I want to keep reading it. I want to keep reading. I don't want to do anything else. I just want to read. And oh my God, that doesn't happen to me that often where I can be solely focused on one thing at a time, especially when I can't. Like if I'm listening to an audiobook, I can be solely focused on the audiobook while I play games on my phone that are monotonous or while I do a puzzle and be solely listening to the book and paying attention, but sitting down and being like, I just want to sit here and read. And my blood sugar was low and I didn't want to get up and go get a snack. Like get a snack or get juice. This is like, I feel like this is like my Jane Austen kind of moment because there's like the hands just kind of slightly brushing. And you're like, oh, I'm obsessed. Here's the thing. Hear me out. Okay. This book, listen, this is not for everybody, okay? This is one of those books where while I'm reading it, objectively, I totally understand people DNFing this book. I totally understand people not liking this or having problems with this book. So I feel like this is one of those books where you are either gonna give it 5 stars or you're gonna DNF it. Both are valid. I love you. I love you. Oh my God, it's so good. Now, I do also want to put a caveat. I just want to warn you because I do think that this is something that people going into this book need to know because this could be something that will make you hate this book. But Reagan, the main character, is already in a relationship at the beginning of the story. So there is that trope of like kind of like a cheating trope, even though, you know, technically she isn't, but like mentally she is. And if you do not want to read that, you're not going to want to read this book. But I am telling you, I'm obsessed. So I'm going to stop talking so that I can keep reading. I swear to you that it is a different day. I am swearing to you it's a different day. Am I wearing the exact same outfit? Yeah, of course I am. I am not accepting any questions at this time. Thank you. But I got to page 125 or 126 technically, and I am officially on to part 4. We just got to them going to her parents' anniversary party, and I am already so... Now, I don't remember if I said this last time, if I said it yesterday, but I had spoken about there being something that the characters were doing, and it is a cheating kind of scenario. And that last night I was like, well, you know, the characters, when you see the characters, you kind of understand why they're doing this. No, I should not have said that. In the moment of the book, it felt that way, but it's not. What she's doing is not okay. Like it is, even if it's just emotional cheating, even if it's just mental cheating, it's still cheating. And that's not cool. Like, that's not okay to do that. Now, do I understand that her and this dude should not still be together? Yeah, I do understand that. Why am I holding this up like you can tell what book it is? But she needs to leave him. That's the long and the short of it. Like, just because they shouldn't be together doesn't mean it's okay for her to be cheating. Now, I say that while also saying I'm obsessed with this book. I'm obsessed. Like, I'm literally highlighting, and I also picked out a tabbing system. You'll see it better when the cover's on it. But basically what I have so far is this like beige-ish kind of cute little moment is for stunning writing. And then the dark blue is for mental illness and kind of just mental relatability of things that are just like a little bit more disordered thinking. And then the blue, this kind of more regular blue, this is for heart eyes. My heart. Oh my God. I love them so much. And then the like light off green is for anything else. Just anything other. I am well and truly obsessed with this. It is so freaking good. It's so cute. And the fact that they're like, oh no. It's okay. Nothing broke. The fact that they're falling in love with each other's brains. I'm obsessed. Okay. But I did pick up 2 things at my P.O. box, and I don't know what they are. So presumably it's book mail, based on the way they feel. And I want to open it with you guys. So let's see what we have here. Oh, fuck yes. Fuck. Sorry. Try not to cuss so blatantly. By Denise Darden. Oh my God, look at this. These are stunning. This is 4 and 5, I believe, of Moriarty the Patriot. Yes. Oh, these are beautiful. I love the covers of these. I love when we have each character getting their own moment. I am so excited to keep reading the series, and I love that so many people are pushing me to read it and are telling me how good it is and how much they want me to continue. I am literally obsessed. Now, this is in a similar package. So Denise, is this also from you? Is this also from you? Oh my God. Is this from Denise? No way. No way. No. Is there no note? There's no note. What? There's no note, but whoever did this, is this the same person? Is this Denise? Is this also Denise? Like, I'm so excited. The complete collection, Orange by Ichigo Takano. Oh my God, look at this. Look at that. And then look, beautiful. It's like glossy, stunning. Oh my God. I'm assuming these are both all from Denise. I don't know. If somebody else sent this to me, please let me know. Gabby put this on her best books of the year, and she's already reread it, and she tabbed it and said it's like her new obsession. So if Gabby Reed says to read it, you can bet your ass I'm going to read it. And so presumably whoever that's by, but Denise, thank you so much for adding to my obsession, because Moriarty is absolutely amazing. And if you haven't checked it out, I would highly suggest it. Okay, couple things. One, I got to page 150. But I had previously said that I was on part 4. No, part 4 is quite a ways away. I was completely mistaken about that. This is sad. This is sad. And do you know why it's sad? It's because this girl, Erin from Booked and Busy, she made me realize something. She said, that's not a romance, it's a love story. And I stopped and I went, oh my God, this isn't gonna have a happy ending. She was like, no, it's not. And now I can't stop seeing it every page and every page. I'm like, we're heading to a bad place, and I'm scared. Hi. I just finished this book. I just finished it. It's like 2 a.m. I got back from work like 2 hours ago. You know, we've been drinking a margarita, getting in our feelings, drinking red wine, getting more in our feelings, reading this book, finishing this book. Oh my God. But here's the thing. Here's where the feelings came out. Reading the end of this book, I'm like, yes, I love you, Blake. Damn. But the feelings, the author's note. The author's note of this book. Oh my God. The author's note, like, it's so fucking stunning. I'm so glad I kept reading, and I just kept reading the author's note because I didn't want to stop reading this woman's writing. Her writing is stunning. It's stunning. But I'm so glad I did, because the author's note of this book, it'll bring you to your knees. It's so sad, but it's so hopeful. It gave me so much hope. Like, and listen, I'm not going to go into my review of this book because I need to wait. I need to sit on this. I need it to not be 2 a.m., you know, or whatever time it is right now before I talk about this. But oh my God. I'm upset. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Okay, hello. we're at the review part. Okay, I know that last night I said I was going to wait to do the review until the next day where I was more coherent, but I'm not more coherent. I just want to ramble about this book because I freaking love it. This is 5 stars. This will absolutely be in my top 5 of 2023, if not the top book of the year, because I cannot imagine reading 5 better books to push this out of the top 5. Like, I can't imagine. I'm gonna say it again. This is not for everybody. It is not for everyone. I definitely understand people DNFing this book. I think that that's probably for the best. If you're not enjoying it, you should DNF it because the book isn't going to change. Like, you don't get to a point where you're not going to feel the way that you did in the beginning. And for me, I loved it in the beginning. I loved it from the first page and I kept loving it the whole entire way through. So for non-spoilers, I am going to say that I really loved the description of mental illness and the depiction. And if you've read the author's note, then you know that Olivia Blake is coming from Own Voices. She says in the author's note that this is lightly representative of her and her husband's relationship and like when they first met. And I thought that that was really beautiful and made me look at Aldo and Reagan in a complete different way, and also look at Olivia Blake in a completely different way, in all good ways, obviously. I would also say that Masso, I loved Masso, Aldo's dad. He's so sweet. He's trying his absolute best. And even when he doesn't understand Aldo, he tries so hard. He is putting himself like just so there for his son, and it's so precious. I did not like Reagan's parents, but Reagan doesn't like them either, so Reagan has an older sister who I loved. And I also, Mark, the character of Mark, Reagan's boyfriend in the beginning of this book, he's not a great person, but neither is Reagan, okay? And like, they worked together. They didn't thrive off of each other, but they worked together. And I found that storyline so interesting. And I found Mark so interesting because anytime he would say or do something, the way he would come across, you would think like, oh my God, that's so cold or like rude, but he's just telling the truth. He was just blatantly telling the truth. And basically every single thing he said was true. Like, I can't even think of anything he said, even if it was rude, that wasn't accurate about Reagan. And she knew it was accurate about herself. So I enjoyed that a lot personally. And I know some people said that they did not like the writing style, but again, I loved it. And I understood that I just wasn't smart enough to like get every single thing that Olivia Blake did, but I got most of it. And for that, I am high-fiving myself. That is going to end it out for the non-spoilery part of this video. And if you are clicking out, I would like you to leave the blue heart emoji if you've gotten this part of the video. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And have a nice night. And hello to anyone who has read this book, is not planning on reading this book, or is and doesn't care if I talk about it. So the thing, when I said it's a love story, here's the spoiler. They get together. Oh my God. Okay, well, they get together and then they like break up, and then they get together and then they break up, but bitch, she comes back. And when I tell you that this had me on the edge of my freaking seat, like reading, like I had to finish it, because every time she would walk out of that apartment door, I was like, Aldo, I don't think she's coming back. I think you're alone now, bro. And I would be like so worried. I'm like, oh my God, it says a love story. This is gonna end horribly. And it doesn't. Because this is the perfect depiction of love can't save you. Love cannot cure you. You have to want and try and try and try to help yourself. And what Olivia Blake talks about in the author's note, which I found so stunning, that the way that it depicted her relationship with Aldo and Reagan is that when Olivia Blake was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and she was on medication for a really long time, there came a point where her medication ran out, and it was like a holiday weekend or something. And then when she kept trying to call the psychiatrist, they weren't answering or getting back to her. So there was a period of time where she was not on medication. And then she started writing incessantly. And that was like the only way that she could get all her thoughts and emotions out. And she ended up writing this book as well as quite a few others, and fan fiction and scripts and stuff. And she said that she decided not to go back on medication, but to do like talk therapy and stuff like that. And that she considered all of that her problem until she met her husband, because then it became somebody else's problem too. And she didn't want to burden him with the issues that she didn't feel like working on. So she had to get to a place where she was more balanced. And I thought that was so beautiful, because that is what happens with Reagan and Aldo, where they are falling apart. And when they meet each other, they think, oh my God, this person saved me, because they love them and they have lust and excitement and thrills and questions and searching for answers. But that kind of stuff can't last forever, and manic episodes don't last forever. So, Reagan will have a manic episode. She'll be with Aldo, and then she'll leave, and she'll get sad and she'll leave him and then come back. And she realizes whenever she begins to be able to make art again because of Aldo, that she wants to change for him. And I thought that was so beautiful. That was so stunning. And then later on, when she tells the psychiatrist she's not taking her pills, obviously the psychiatrist is like, what? You need to be back on them. And Reagan's like, no, and I'm not going to, because I don't want to be on them. So either you're going to find another way to help me, or I'm going to go to somebody else. And she just gets up and leaves. Like, bye, I'll find another therapist, because you're telling me I have to be medicated because you don't know how to talk to me. You don't know what I need. And I thought that description was just so beautiful. Now, I will say, I don't really understand why Aldo is not also in therapy. I mean, I get that neither of them want to be, and that Reagan's only in it because it's court ordered, but Aldo does need it. Like, he does need it. He does need it. But I get a lot of people need it and don't get it. But anyway, oh my God. Okay. There's a part where Reagan holds hands with Aldo, and she looks over at him and says, and thinks to herself, he wasn't just unconventionally handsome, she realized. He was uncommonly beautiful. What did you learn? He asked neutrally. And in her brain, she thinks that I could study you for a lifetime, carrying all of your peculiarities and discretions in the webs of my spidery palms, and still feel empty-handed. I'm gonna combust. This one tried to eat me whole. Okay. Every time you love, pieces of you break off and get replaced by something you steal from someone else. It seems like it's the right shape, but it's slightly different every time, so that eventually, very, very quietly and over days and days, you are transformed into something unrecognizable. And it happens so slowly, you don't even notice, like shedding scales and making new ones. He smiled at her like, isn't it great? Yes, she thought, pained. Yes, it is perilously wonderful to suffer so sweetly with you. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That is stunning. Okay, this one is about mental illness, and I love this because this is definitely something that I see in real life and reality that is so hard for people to vocalize, but it's when she realizes that Aldo is in love with her, and he says that he's in love with her brain, and she immediately starts pushing him away because she's like, you're gonna leave me eventually, you're gonna get sick of me, you think you love my brain? No, you don't. So she says, oh, you love my brain? Well, do you love it when it does this thing or this thing? Do you love it when it means I'm lifeless on the floor, curling my tongue around a pill or a stranger's dick? Can you love my brain even when it's small, when it's malevolent, when it's violent? Can you love it when it doesn't love me? Okay, I'm sorry. There's too many things to quote this book. There's too many things. So I'm going to end it there and let you... Actually, if you have a favorite quote from this book, please put it in the comments down below. And if you need to put some like periods or whatever so that people don't see it and they have to read more, I'll know what that means. I'll know that that means I need to click on it to read your quote because I love this. Let me know you've gotten this far and you're one of those people. You can leave the bee emoji for telling me that you got to the very, very end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I absolutely loved making this, and I need to do this more often when I'm reading. So let me know if there's any of the books that I have on my TBR or that you want me to have on my TBR that you want me to make a video for. I would really appreciate it. If you want to join the Smut Salon, and the bunnies, and the Warren, the Coven, you could join that down below. It is in the links, as well as links to Goodreads, Instagram, and other such and whatnot. So I will see you in a video coming very soon. Bye.
Looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test. Expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next? He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold an obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression.